You're listening to Adapt and Thrive, a survival guide for the modern marketer, with hosts Tom and Kate. Your survival guide begins now.
All right, welcome back to Adapt and Thrive, a survival guide for the modern marketer. I am Kate Peters.
And I'm Tom Gallego.
And it's good to see you, Tom.
It is. It's very good to see you. And it's been a while. And I can't wait to get into this topic. It's so cool.
I know.
Millennials and how marketers can market to them, essentially.
Yeah. So our last episode, we did Gen Z. And we got such great feedback that we thought we would do millennials, because millennials are one of the biggest groups of shoppers. I know personally, I'm a millennial, so I'm excited for this episode because I relate to it. I'm also a little nervous because I feel like I'm going to get called out for being a millennial. But, you know, no shame. You can't choose the year you were born.
Well, and we will make a definite effort not to bash millennials.
Thank you.
Here. They've been bashed enough.
Yes.
There's so many great aspects to being a millennial.
We get a bad rep, though.
You do.
I mean, such a bad rep. When we were doing research for this podcast, the amount of articles that were like, why millennials suck. I was like, okay. But it was like, why millennials are the worst, you know? Like, that was like article titles. Like, you don't see like why baby boomers are the worst.
or the great generation, or even Gen Xers, you know, because Gen Xers had so much, very small generation, by the way, Gen Xers. I know this is on that, but they've had so much crap thrown at them.
Yeah.
The only crap you guys had thrown at you is bad, you know, financial crises.
Yes.
But everybody got a trophy
Everyone participation trophy. Ribbon. That's our generation.
Everybody won.
Yes.
Everybody's great. There was no criticism cast on you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think back, I was like thinking about my life thus far. So I'm 32. So we've realized when we did our research that according to Oxford, millennials are anyone born between 1981 and 1986, which would make them either between the ages of 26 and 41.
96. 81 to 96.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. 81 to 96. So you would be 26 to 41. I'm 32, so I'm right in the middle.
So this is something marketers need to contend with when they do generational studies and they figure out their marketing strategies and advertising agencies too. Those dates are subject to change, those years. And I actually have a study here that pushes millennials all the way up to 2003.
Oh, wow.
It does. 82 to 2003. So they've shifted a little bit. This study, I wanted to find something more contemporary and current. I think this was done in 2022. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean it's right. But, you know, right on top of that, you have Gen Zs, right? Yep. So where are they, how they fit into the pie here. But anyways, suffice it to say, I would go 81 up into the early 2000s.
Yeah.
A little bit later than 96. Yeah.
See, okay. I don't know why, but I feel like if you weren't alive, it's a very sad thing to relate this to. Because it was such a big part of my childhood, is that if you weren't alive for 9/11, I can't imagine that you're a millennial. And that was in 2001. And so, because that was such a big part of my life.
Good
like
point.
When I was 11 when 9/11 happened. So I remember 9/11. Right. And I feel like if you don't remember 9/11, like that's such a pivotal moment for millennials because we were so young.
Right.
That it's like to think of a millennial being able to be someone born after that is crazy to me. I would definitely put them with Gen Z.
But think of the name too. Millennial means literally probably born in 2000.
That's true.
You know,
that's true. Yeah.
You gotta, you know, it's semantics here. Yeah. It's nothing exact. It's marketing, part art, part science, right?
For sure. Okay. Yeah. For
cool.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like there's been a lot of things when I was thinking about as a millennial. So I was like 12 when we had internet. I had dialed up internet. I remember that. I was on my AIM screen name talking to friends when I was 12. Yeah. I remember the
dial-up modem.
Yeah.
You got cast the name of digital natives because of that.
Yes, because we were the ones to explore. I mean, I was coding my MySpace page when I was 12.
Sure. Yeah.
With HTML.
Yeah. And you've been exposed to internet since before you can remember.
Right. I've always known the internet. I didn't always know cell phones, which Gen Zs do. I didn't have a cell phone until I was like 15. I don't remember exactly.
Did you have a Razor flip phone?
I had a flip phone when I was like, I think I was like 15. Yeah.
Those were cool.
And then I had a white chocolate. Did you ever have a chocolate? They had the white chocolate, brown chocolate. They were like the slide up phones.
I don't. I was the guy who stood in line. I'm a boomer.
Yeah.
I stood in line in Orange County for 4 hours to buy one of the first iPhones.
Oh, did you skip over the BlackBerry?
I never had a BlackBerry.
You never had a BlackBerry?
It just was weird to me. The BlackBerry was weird to me.
With the weird, it had the ball on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was sad too. We've talked about this in other podcasts that I religiously went to CES every year, and the BlackBerry booth was like this iconic kind of monolithic booth. And 3 years later, they had this little 10 by 10 booth, and there was 2 people in there. It was like, it crashed hard.
Sad. Well, yeah, it's because it was what the Razor was the hot phone, then the BlackBerry, then the iPhone came out. Yeah.
When the iPhone came out, it changed everything. Mm-hmm. And the first, I can brag, I had the first iPhone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. I don't think I got an iPhone until I was like in college. Was probably then. Yeah. And then when I graduated, the year I graduated college was the year I got to college. No, when was the recession? 2012?
No, it was actually started in 2008,
okay.
9. Yeah.
So I went to college in 2008, recession, graduated in 2012. No jobs.
No jobs.
No jobs.
No jobs at all.
At all. So I feel like when I think about my generation, I'm like, okay, internet's always been a part of my life. I got a cell phone, but I've used the oldest version of a cell phone as possible. And it was really hard to get a job. So we didn't have a lot of money. Like my generation has so much debt, I feel like, because of that.
Most debt of any generation proportionally. Yeah. You've also, because there was no jobs, you all have side hustles, right?
Yes, all of us.
Yeah.
Yes, that's actually a really good point because I've had 2 jobs as long as I could remember.
Yeah. You're also, your expectations of the shopping experience have really pushed Amazon and other, walled gardens, shopping walled gardens to up their game and really cater to you. And you just want to order things on your phone, and you want it to arrive that afternoon.
Yes. Immediacy, if that's a word. Immediacy. And we'll get into that, like how convenience is important to us. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to dive into how to sell your product to millennials, how to market your brand to millennials, how to market a service to millennials, no matter what type of business you are a marketer for or you're an owner for. If you have millennials in your target demographic, then you want to listen to this podcast because you need to know there's different ways to approach millennials than any other generation, even Gen Z. But if you also have Gen Z, then check out our most recent episode, the one before this, where we talked about Gen Z. So, I guess it's time. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Without further ado.
Yeah.
Okay. So just like our last episode, we're going to start this one with 2 truths and a lie. So I'm going to basically give you, I'm going to give you 3 statements and then you have to choose which one is a lie. So 2 of them are right and 1 is wrong. Okay. Ready?
All right.
Okay. Millennials still make up one of the largest demographics of big box shoppers. So that's including Target, Walmart, Amazon. They make up one of the largest demographics of people that shop there.
Okay.
Oh, is this your assistant?
Okay, that sounds plausible to me.
Okay.
I got to hear the other 2 first.
Okay,
though.
yes. The second one is that millennials value labels over transparency when shopping. So a label of a brand is more important to them than transparency of that brand.
Okay.
And then the third is that millennials are predicted to have the highest spending power ever.
Okay.
So big box shoppers.
Right.
Valuing labels over transparency and highest spending power ever.
So those to me seem like they're diametrically opposed, the first 2. If you're a big box shopper, would you value labels over? I'm not sure. And then you said you were the highest debt earlier. See, I'm trying to figure, because you got me last time. You nailed me. I failed miserably on this.
That was the one with Gen Z's with the, I tricked you into that one though.
You did.
Because remember I played it up. Yeah. I said it was that
right.
Gen Z has a 12-second attention span. And you said that was true. And I said it's 8 seconds.
See, right. Gen Z, 8 seconds and dropping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what was give me the last one more time.
Millennials are predicted to have the highest spending power ever.
Okay.
Spending power.
Spending power. Okay. And the second one is you value brands over transparency. I think that's the lie.
You're right.
I think that's, whoa, I got it.
You're right.
And I just deductive
Where's our,
reasoning.
we need our dun 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 dun.
Right. Can you
Our
press
sonic
a little?
boom. I don't know if it still works. It might.
Oh gosh. Okay. We'll have to figure that one out.
I
But
know, I don't want to mess it up.
no,
Yeah, so that one is the lie. So millennials actually do value transparency over labels, which I agree that does kind of contradict the first, because I don't know how transparent Walmart and Amazon are, but I guess the two can live together. I don't know, but millennials do make up one of the largest demographics of Target and Walmart. So if you have a product and millennials are your number one target demo, be in Target and Amazon and Walmart, which we'll get into a little bit more through this episode. And then they have the highest spending power. And that just means that because they're the generation that is online the most, they have a high spending power because you have the chance of reaching them more than any other generation because they're everywhere online.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
All at once.
Yeah.
They can order shit really fast.
Yeah. And we love credit.
Right.
We love credit.
Yeah, you can order like 5 things
we love a credit card.
3 mouse clicks. You can order 5 different.
Yes.
You're amazing.
One click. I mean, you could do it in one click on Amazon.
That's right.
I have my app set up where I can literally just go purchase on the product page and everything's done. No other clicks. It's dangerous.
Okay. All right. Well, cool.
All right.
Nice little tidbit. If you're hiring millennials, and I'll just throw these in from time to time, they have little tolerance for entry-level tasks. Okay?
Okay.
Just keep that in mind.
You looked at me really long when you said that.
Well, you're above that, I think.
Yeah.
But I think you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start at the bottom, in the mailroom, right? That was our generation. You started in the mailroom and you worked your way up. Not millennials.
You got to start washing dishes if you want to be a chef.
Yeah, but not for millennials. They want to walk in and be.
Wait, is that the lie then? Or
no, I'm not doing my truth and lie. I just threw that in. Okay, if you want to play the game, two truths and a lie, I got mine. Okay,
all right, let's do it.
Which can I modify this?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. This is our podcast.
Good point. You tell me which trait in the buying experience do millennials value the most? Okay. The first one would be tailored personal recommendations in the shopping experience.
Okay.
So, they're going to cookie you and they're going to give you recommendations. They may say people who bought this also bought this, or if you're looking for this, we recommend this. Okay.
Okay.
So, the next one would be eco-friendly delivery. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like bag free, but eco-friendly. Who knows? Maybe an electric drone delivers it to your home.
Love that.
Okay. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one would be free gifts.
Okay, so recommended products, eco-friendly delivery, or free gifts.
Correct.
Which trait do we value the most when we're shopping?
Overwhelmingly.
I'm going to say
overwhelmingly.
Recommended.
These aren't even close.
Recommended products.
I'll put it this way: you add 2 of them up, they don't even equal the highest one of these 3.
Okay, I'm going to say recommended products. Is that right?
You get that wrong.
Is it eco-friendly delivery?
No.
It's not?
It's free gifts.
What?
42% free gifts combined the other two, and it's only 31%.
That's
17
crazy.
for eco-friendly, 14% for tailored personal shopping recommendations.
That's crazy.
Free gifts. You guys love free gifts. Free gifts.
See, I don't know. I might be an outlier, but yes, I guess maybe majority of
We
people
have some
do.
clients we could use this on. Free gifts.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Right?
you buy something and you get something, right? Like you buy a perfume from Sephora, you get a free lipstick. That's why Sephora actually has fantastic program for their
what's
gifts.
really sad? I know all about Sephora because I have 2 daughters and a wife.
Yeah.
And it's
Do you
big.
go into Sephora?
No, I just see it in my house and I see the free gifts and I see the packaging and I go, who the hell Sephora?
Yep.
And why am I spending all this money on Sephora?
Yeah. So every time you shop there, you get points. And then in
Yeah.
the store, every single season, they change them out every 3 months. At the register, they have 5 different items that you could choose from as a free gift. So when you check out, if you're part of their membership program, they'll be like, thank you, Miss Hauser. Like, which free gift would you like? And you can choose. And they're like miniature versions of very expensive products, but it like allows you to try something first. And with cosmetics, you always like to try something first. So it's a really good, like, it's a smart play because it's rewarding you for your loyalty, but also allowing you to test out products before you buy the really expensive, larger one. But
so they probably,
they have a lot of millennials that shop there. I bet a lot. Like, I don't know a single person that doesn't.
which this is overwhelming. Nothing's even close. The next closest shopping experience trait. So that's 42% free gifts. 34% is next day delivery.
Okay, I can see that.
So that's number 2, and it's at 34. So you combine those 2 traits, and your e-commerce. You marketers out there that are working with e-commerce companies or brands. You combine those 2 for the 1-2 punch. Next day delivery and free gifts. And bam, you see your sales go up, right?
That's smart. Yeah, that's really smart.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely say next day delivery. I very much relate to that.
Cool. All right.
Cool. All right. Should we get into it? So we have 6 ways to market to millennials. So number 1, millennials place a huge emphasis on reviews. So because millennials grew up in the emergence of the social media era, they rely heavily on a product's social media presence and real user experiences. So this is a phrase that we've used a lot with our clients recently because it is quite literally like a part of marketing that is blowing up, which is UGC. So user-generated content.
Okay.
And it's basically a creative form of a review. So people obviously think when they think reviews, they think of like an Amazon review or like a Yelp review.
Right.
UGC is a review where somebody has actually generated a piece of content. So they're using the product in a photo on their Instagram, or they've tagged you in a TikTok video that they made at their house, but your product is getting represented that way. So it's basically one of the most effective ways to reach millennials.
There's that transparency aspect.
Transparency. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that plays in here. So that's actually that's our second tip, but it actually is very, very much related. So,
but it's driving the first tip.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I looked up some data on Trustpilot, and it said that millennials trust UGC 50% more than original branded content, which is why user-generated content also has a major impact on millennial spending, with 84% of millennials saying that they have used UGC to make a purchasing decision. 84%.
Okay. So our clients, we are huge proponents of UGC. And we know this. We didn't see the data. We probably did see the data because we do a lot of research.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, we do a ton of, and we have, like for one of our clients, we've tested branded Facebook ads where like they're like really well produced branded advertisement.
Yeah, they look really slick.
Assets really
cool.
slick. Yeah. And then we've also then partnered with UGC creators, because UGC creators are, everyday people that just happen to like shooting content at their home. So we've partnered with them and said, hey, take a video using our product, and then we'll use their video in a Facebook ad. And 9 times out of 10, that ad will outperform the well-created, produced, branded ad.
Okay.
With this group at least.
Wow, that's impressive. You know, as a creative director, I'm like, we should be able to produce things as good as responsive as a UGC content, but it is really what's driving millennials, right?
For sure. And brands have an opportunity to create UGC on their own. So where it's like, it looks like it's a UGC, like it has that raw, authentic feel. But it's not actually, the brand actually made it themselves. So basically the more the story is here, if you don't have a UGC strategy, you absolutely need one. You can do this by partnering with UGC creators that can help create content for you that you can then turn around and use in your paid media strategies. L7 Creative works with tons of UGC creators.
Right. we sure do.
We are pitching this to every single client. A lot of our clients are on board with this now. We're showing results. So we have proven that UGC is the way to go for millennials, at least with your social content and your paid social strategies. So do that. Another tip here is to create a loyalty program. So instead of paying like a UGC creator, you actually just have your customers create the content for free with a loyalty program. So that could be anything from, if you'll have a rewards program where you'll get points that you can redeem on the website every time that you post a photo and tag the brand, because that's UGC right there, is free content of somebody using your product. So having a rewards program. The third tip here is that, which is kind of similar to your recommended products, but basically if you're shopping on a website and they have a section that's called like styled by you, where they're actually pulling into the product page on their website, they're consumers that have used that product. So whether it's a clothing brand and it's pictures of people wearing that clothing item, or let's say it's a vase and it shows the vase styled in different people's houses,
right?
On the product page itself, have a section that shows that product on your consumer or in your consumer's house or whatever. So those are 3 tips for how to lean into the fact that 84% of millennials use UGC to make a purchasing decision. So partner with UGC creators for your ads, or create a loyalty program to incentivize your customers to create free UGC, or include recently tagged photos on the product page on your website.
Cool. Excellent. All right. Second, they value transparency.
They do.
Right?
We do. We're a transparent bunch. What can we say? We're so honest.
So how do you become more transparent as a brand? I think it's I always appreciate that when brands show you some of the not so great reviews and then their responses to them, because sometimes they make sense, or where if you didn't know the response, you might think, well, that's valid. Sometimes the criticism is not valid, and other times I see brands, talk about, we're going to fix this, and here's our plans to fix it. So I think that's really valuable. You have here too cost breakdowns.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about this with one of our clients recently,
right?
Because they have a product that is one of the most expensive products on the market for what they offer, but their price is completely justified because they have sustainable practices. They pay their workers fair living wages. Everything is made in the USA, so it's obviously a little bit more expensive. And so we were like, you need to be transparent with your customer and include that on the product page. Have a cost breakdown. So say if my product is, $50, $10 went to this, $2 went to this, $4 went to this, and then include the profit too. Like at the end of the day, we make $5 off of it.
Right.
And I think that consumers want that, and they'll see that, and that will help justify the price for them, because they'll see they're taking every step, to make sure that it's a high quality item, through everything from the materials to the packaging to the workers making it. So it promotes transparency, it builds trust, and it justifies cost.
Yeah, I like that. And where possible, even do that same process for sourcing materials and ingredients. And,
Yes.
sometimes brands can't do that, let's face it, because their stuff comes from places that they don't want to talk about. But in a lot of cases, if you have sustainable practices in your supply chain, you should tell, folks about that.
Oh, you should shout it from the rooftops.
Right.
If you're taking the extra steps to be a better brand, that should be a very big part of your brand.
Yeah. And if you can't do that, just tell the consumer, tell the millennial how you're moving towards that.
Yes. Yes.
Because I think everybody should be.
100%.
Right?
I completely agree. As someone who does shop, I am passionate about sustainable brands, and I try to make a conscious effort to really only shop from brands that are doing something. I appreciate when I go to a website and it says, we're not 100% there, but we're trying. Here's what we're doing to try, and here's what's on our roadmap. And our goal is to be, zero carbon emissions by 2024. Like, it's like, okay, great. You're not where you want to be right now, but you're doing efforts to get there. That's what people want to see when they're shopping.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Number 3,
you can best reach millennials using an omni-channel approach. So 60% of millennials do their shopping online, which means 40% do it in store, which is a pretty big split.
Yeah.
And that
I'm surprised
basically
it's 40% in store.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
right.
me too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really, I don't know why. I mean, I my head immediately thinks like, as a millennial myself, I'm surrounded, like a lot of my friends are young moms, and going to Target with their kids is an activity.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
they need to get them out of the house.
Yeah.
So I could see that is that millennials make up a big, big group of young parents. But this just goes to show that, like, not unfortunately, but the challenge here is that you have to make sure your marketing, and I know you're passionate about this, Tom, but your branding has to be consistent across both digital and retail experience. Like, everything has to be aligned across the board because they will see it no matter what.
Right.
Millennials are going to see it.
Yep.
So one tip for that before we move on is experiential marketing campaigns are huge. So experiential marketing is basically, reaching millennials out and about in the world. So if they're at festivals or if you're hosting a pop-up event or anything like that, have a really good experience built around it where it would be, a pop-up event in person, but also then have like QR codes around the booth where someone could scan on their iPhone to see something online. So you're reaching them in both places.
Yeah, good point. Okay. Number 4.
Millennials, go for it.
Millennials are a hyper online generation. I think that's pretty well understood, right? Go ahead. I think your explanation here is really good. Okay.
Yeah. So millennials see your brand from every single angle. Because we're the internet generation, we've had internet for as long as we can remember. We know how to navigate it. We know how to work. Like I said earlier, I was coding my MySpace when I was 12 with like basic HTML formatting. We know the internet. We feel comfortable on the internet. We don't really hide anything on the internet. So we're pretty much everywhere you can be online. We use social tools as old as Twitter and as new as TikTok and Snapchat and YouTube. Like, we're on everything. So making sure that your brand's messaging is consistent across every single platform is going to be essential to your success with millennials. So, because like I said, they're going to see it if it's there.
Well, and that's what surprised me the most is there isn't really one or two channels they hang out with. They are spread out across all of the digital channels.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, from YouTube to TikTok to Pinterest, to Instagram, Facebook, they're there.
We are, because baby boomers might think TikTok is too young. Gen Zs might think Facebook is too old. Millennials are right in the middle.
Right.
So we do use everything.
You do.
Which leads us to number 5. Where are they spending their most time online? So 87% of millennials use Facebook once a week, compared to Gen Z, which is only 36%. I found that really high. 87?
That's almost a threefold. It's 2.5 at least, a little more. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. That's amazing that the one thing that amazed me is the drop off in Gen Z to Facebook, or what's going to be Meta, or is Meta. I said at the time when they were making a brand change, they said, buy Facebook short. Buy them short, buy short. It's gonna drop. Their stocks drop. Gonna drop. And look at their stock value. It's plummeted over the last.
Facebook, Meta.
Wow. It has. I don't know why, but maybe this is an indicator. Maybe Gen Z just doesn't find it interesting enough.
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I don't use.
Millennials still do, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, there was an article sent out this morning to our team group. I don't know if you saw that. One of our associate director of paid media, Mackenzie, sent out an article this morning that said TikTok brand loyalty soars as Instagram and Facebook lose ground. So basically, they list out like this different channels online that consumers trust, and TikTok went from spot 21 to number 5.
Wow.
And Facebook fell 17 spots and Instagram fell 6. So people don't trust Facebook and Instagram like they trust TikTok now, which is crazy because there's all that security information stuff that came out a couple of months ago. But it looks like TikTok's brand loyalty has surpassed Instagram and Facebook. So I'm not surprised that Facebook's stock is impacted.
Yeah. In the one channel that's conspicuous by their absence is Twitter.
Right.
I think we haven't even mentioned that.
Right. Twitter. I don't use Twitter myself. I mean, I use it obviously for work, but I don't use it as much as I use Instagram and TikTok probably are my top two. And I use YouTube a lot for education, but.
Well, maybe Elon's going to save it. Who knows? We'll see.
We'll see. Right. Jury's out. But just to wrap up the social stats. So 71% of millennials use Instagram once a week, 54% use YouTube, and 49% follow their favorite brands on social media. So half of millennials are following the brands on social media. Make sure you have a really strong social media strategy. Again, that aligns well with also your retail strategy, since millennials will see both. So definitely poses a challenge there, but not a challenge that L7 Creative is too afraid to accomplish and face. So let us know if you need any help.
Good plug there.
Yeah, just super organic.
And what do you think about the statement? It takes us to our 6th point here that, that millennials rely on convenience. Is that like a big no duh?
That's a no duh.
Okay.
For sure. I think everyone likes convenience, but I think millennials definitely do.
There was some throwaway stat that said more money is spent on convenience than all other goods and services combined. And who knows, it's just, how do you prove that? But convenience is highly valued, but no generation values it as much as the millennials.
Yeah. I agree with that. So a couple of things to do for convenience. What do you think the first one has to do with?
Well, I think it's like same day delivery or next day delivery.
And who do you think of when you think of that?
Well, I think of Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what? I'm old enough to believe to realize that one of the greatest brands was really built on a 2-day delivery, and it shook the world. And that was
really.
Guess who?
Okay, let me think. 2-day delivery. The newspaper?
It was FedEx.
FedEx.
Yeah, 48-hour delivery.
The OG deliverer.
The OG deliverer. And people went, it's impossible. How do you deliver something from the East Coast or that matter offshore in 2 days? It can't be done. And they did it.
It can be if you've got $150.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, they have their own planes. You see them when you go to the airport. They have like FedEx planes just lined up.
Funny thing is, I don't know if I've mentioned this on podcast before, but I landed at a client meeting in Indianapolis. And I didn't realize this at the time, but that is, so that I'm walking through this airport. It's beautiful. It's new. It's
a beautiful airport. I've been to the Indianapolis airport. It's stunning. Yeah.
Yeah. There was nobody in there. Okay.
Oh, that's even more beautiful.
Right. It was like, it was, there was the customer service folks, right? And I said, how come this airport's, and I just went up, me, I'm going to ask dumb questions, that I'm interested in. Why is this airport so big and why is there nobody in it? And they said, well, look out that window over there. And I looked out, a sea of FedEx planes.
Wow.
And she said, that's why we're the FedEx hub for the Midwest.
Interesting.
And that's why I guess the runways had to be so big and the terminals had to be so big, but
wow.
But there
just
wasn't
all
a lot
FedEx.
No passengers, just boxes.
Just boxes, waiting to get my paws on them.
And obviously that's
open them up, see what people bought.
Yeah, and that's driven this Amazon. I am still, that's the one thing that amazes me, and it's it's hard to be amazed anymore in this world we live in. But when you order something, and it's coming from some faraway place, and it shows up the next morning on your doorstep, I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's cool. It's really cool. Yeah, I agree. I mean, convenience is great. People want that. They're so busy. I personally think about things at the very last minute and then I need it like yesterday. So if you are listening and you don't have an Amazon strategy, you need one ASAP. And not just having putting your products on Amazon, but have an actual strategy. Like make sure your branding is consistent across the platform. We've seen brands that are represented in 100 different ways across Amazon, especially if your product is sold through wholesalers and you allow them to also sell your product on Amazon. Treat it as much as with as much importance as if it was your website. So you can have an Amazon storefront now. They allow brands to have Amazon storefronts, which is essentially like your own little mini website on Amazon. Make it as high of a priority as your website when it comes to the UI and the UX. So you have fresh content on there. There's actually a way to pull in recent UGC. So you can pull in user-generated content to your Amazon storefront. You can utilize Amazon's affiliate program and work with affiliates to try to incorporate an influencer strategy. So have an Amazon strategy that incorporates as many the aspects of marketing as any other strategy would, because it really is important, especially if you want to reach millennials. So, and then another idea for convenience is any sort of convenience program you can offer. So if it's like a subscription service for products that require refills, fast shipping options, try at home technology. I think we spoke about this in one of our first podcasts, was like the eyeglass company that you could try on at home, like a virtual try on with your computer. Last night, so we're redecorating my house right now. Last night we were looking for like a dresser to put in our living room. And I was on Crate and Barrel, and you could click on the product page, see in my space, and it literally like put the dresser in my, like I just turned my phone, the camera to my living room, and it put the dresser right where I wanted it.
That's cool.
It was so cool. And we tried like 3 or 4 different options to see if like the sizing made sense and the coloring and everything. And I thought that was such an interesting feature, and it like made me want to order it because it was like, it wasn't a risk for me. Like I could see exactly how it would look. So the convenience of not risking having to return it.
So it worked.
It worked, yeah. It was very expensive dresser.
Yeah.
But what
did
are you
they
going to
give
say?
you a free gift?
I'm a millennial. I'm buying it. I did not get a free gift. I would have loved, I think I got like a 10% off coupon, but that's it.
Did they have next day delivery?
No, it's furniture. In 2022, it's impossible to get furniture.
You're right.
In less than a month.
Yeah.
It's insane. So.
Really? That long? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I ordered a coffee table. It took almost 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was worth it.
And that's about 2.5 weeks too long.
Yes. You know what else we ordered? I don't know if you've seen these. Have you seen the Samsung Frame TVs? It's a TV. No. Okay. So it's a TV. It's a flat screen that looks like a piece of artwork.
Oh, I have seen those.
So, you know, it's like,
Right.
If you have a TV on your wall.
Yeah.
And when you're not watching it, it just places like a screensaver, and you can choose the screensaver, and you can buy them for like $3 on Etsy, like all the different pieces, like types of artwork.
Yeah.
So we got one of those because we don't really watch a lot of TV. And if we do, a lot of times we'll even just watch it on our laptops in bed. So we were like, if we're going to have a TV in the living room, we don't want that big, ugly black TV. We want like a nice piece of like, it looks like art. So
that's pretty cool. You know, I think for people to actually use it, because those have been around a long time, but back in the day, I think the image, if you kept an image on the screen, it would burn into the screen. I think they've figured that one out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's excellent. Well, there you have it, millennials.
There you have it, people.
You better embrace them. They're going to take over the world. They'll probably be fighting to take over the world with Gen Z, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Gen Xers and boomers, we're kind of getting pushed out by Gen. And your baby is going to be an alpha, right?
Yes.
Alpha generation.
Yes. I don't think so. Since our last episode, I have indeed announced that I am pregnant. I'm expecting a baby. I'm so excited. So she will be born in February. So she will be Generation Alpha.
Nice.
Super cool.
So, well, congrats, Kate.
Thank you.
And stay tuned, because eventually we're going to get to Generation Alpha.
We are. I'll have my baby on. Cool. Okay.
Right.
So if you are listening and you're a marketer, things that you need to do literally tomorrow for millennials is implement a UGC strategy, get that user generated content up, make sure your brand is transparent and everywhere it can be, online, on your product pages. Make sure that your online shopping experience is as important and aligned as your retail, because millennials will be involved in both. Prioritize all social media channels. Unfortunately, I can't really narrow this one down for you like we could for Gen Z.
Right.
You need to basically be on every single social channel if you want to reach millennials and have a convenience strategy and some convenience offerings. And hopefully that will get you in front of millennials and you'll start selling some goods. And if you want to send us any free stuff,
yeah,
please do. We're located in Carlsbad.
Send those millennials free stuff.
Yes.
Excuse me. Put that in your marketing strategy. All right.
All right, Tom, good to talk with you as always.
Excellent. Yeah. I really enjoyed it today. Thanks,
too.
Kate.
Yeah. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Adapt and Thrive, a survival guide for the modern marketer. If you liked what you've heard, subscribe and drop a comment on what topics you'd like to hear in future episodes. Good luck out there, marketers. Until next time.